Hello everyone. Today we'll be going over Reddit threads that became real-life criminal investigations. And before we get into today's video, I just wanted to take a moment to thank you guys for all the love and support you have all given me over my past couple videos. I hope I can keep making quality content that you guys enjoy, and I thank everyone who's staying by me as I begin my journey in content creation. Besides that, please remember to consider liking and subscribing, and if you guys have any personal stories that you'd like to share, please send them to me at dumbarcusyoutube@gmail.com. And don't forget, I've also been uploading everything to Spotify, link in description and bio. Anyway, enough yapping, let's get into our first story. Our first thread for today is, I, 17 female, got a call from the police about a work incident and want me to come in to talk. Do I go in? I, 17 female, have been working at a local grocery store for 2 years. It's a great place to work, and I really would hate to lose my job. This morning, I got a phone call from the police telling me they have been made aware of an incident at the grocery store that involves me, and they want me to come into the station to discuss what it's about. I told them that I have a shift this morning. They told me to call in sick and come to the station. The only thing I can think it's about is that I've been taking old bakery items and produce at the end of the days when I'm closing. The food either gets sent away as a donation or thrown in the trash. I always make sure I'm not taking from the donation section. The manager told me it's okay for me to do this, but I know the owner wouldn't approve. I'm freaking out. Am I going to get charged with stealing? Would I get in this much trouble for taking expired cookies at the end of my shift? I don't even think the owner could prove I've done this. There aren't any cameras at the back of the room with the garbage. I don't think the manager would tell on me since he tells me and offers me these things. Do I go in? Help. I told the police that I'll see what I could do about work and get back to them. And the OP gives us a couple of updates, but before that, let's get into some of the comments. This commenter says, as a gentle reminder, it might not be about you. They called versus trying to collect you for questioning. They may be questioning people about someone else there or something that went down. I would wait for your parents. Tell them about the pastries just in case and go with them. Better to know than not to know. This other commenter says, no ma'am, no police officer is going to tell you to just call in sick like that. Like everyone mentioned, I'd get with a trusted adult. If it was a work situation, they would definitely meet you at your job. I watched too many YouTube videos of employees stealing and the police showing up to the job. Now you said the manager said it was okay. Why should it be anything more? You got the green light, you're technically not stealing. Sounds suspicious to me. One last commenter says, as a law enforcement officer, 1. Do not ignore the request. 2. Get your parents or guardian involved ASAP. 3. Don't go without a parent or guardian and with an attorney. 4. Answer simple answers only. Don't give long answers as they may try to cross you up. And only answer when the attorney says it's okay to answer. And now let's get into the OP's updates. Their first update says, Update 1. I texted my parents and my mom just called. She told me she called the police and that she's coming to pick me up in a half hour to go to the station. She sounded really upset, but not at me. She told me I'm not in trouble, but to not even call my work. What is going on? Update 2. Wow. Thank you all for the advice. I took the initial ones I read and got my parents involved right away. My mom was a boss. I have to think about what I can update and get back to you all later, because it's honestly really bad. Like nightmare fuel and legally bad. I'm okay, I think. Was at the station for hours. I'm not in trouble. It was not about stealing cookies. But it's far from over. Sorry for being so vague. Update 3. First, I wanted to clarify. The police were not suggesting that I go in without my parents. They called and asked to speak to my parents. When I told them they were not home, they asked me to get them to call them back. When I asked what it was about, they told me the above. When I told them I can't come in today because I'm working, they told me it was important and to do what I needed to do, like call in sick. I apologize for not being more clear about that phone call. A lot of you were concerned the police were trying to take advantage of me. Thank you for caring. I was just freaking out thinking I was going to get in trouble for stealing old bakery items that the manager told me I could take. I've never been in trouble before, so I was mortified I'd have to confess this to my parents. The first few commenters were telling me to talk to my parents, which kinda snapped me out of it, and like, duh, I need to tell my parents. So I did pretty quickly. I don't know what the police told my mom, but she got home faster than she said and took me straight there. My dad was there when we got there. I was freaking out, even though my mom told me it wasn't not about me stealing and to not worry about that. She also called my work and told them I wouldn't be coming in for my shift. On to the update. The previous manager was filming employees changing in and using the bathroom. An old coworker was tipped off by someone that they found a video of her on some website. There were dozens of videos posted of multiple girls over many years using the bathroom and changing in the bathroom. I am one of those girls. The only video I saw of myself that they wanted to verify it was me was of me going into the washroom to put my hair up and putting lip gloss on in the mirror. I know there is more, but I didn't want to see it. There was a whole team there of mostly female officers, counselors, etc. I was actually pretty impressed by how they presented and handled it all, because, well, like so many of you, I don't trust cops, and they've never really made me feel safe. The old manager was arrested. I'm not sure when, but it was before they called me. They got my number from one of the original victims who gave out numbers of all female employees that she had. It's a whole thing. I was asked many questions. I was also asked to identify 2 unknown victims, like a screenshot from a video. Seems like they are customers who somehow got access to the employee bathroom because no one can identify them. It's been a lot to process. I always thought that guy was a creep. He's the nephew of the owner. I effing wish it was about pastries. And then, after that really unfortunate update, we don't hear from the OP for about another 6 months. And when we do, this is what they have to say. Back in June, I was asking for advice on the subject line. I thought it was because I had been taking home-baked goods that were basically garbage, but turned out a past manager had been secretly recording me, my coworkers, and customers in the bathroom. He was uploading the videos on some Russian blank site. Some of the videos of me were taken while I was a minor. I got good advice. I'm still getting messages asking for an update, so here I am. Here's my update. Manager got arrested, but was released pretty quickly on bail. His uncle is one of the owners of the establishment and apparently was aware of his pervertedness. Some girls complain about him taking their pictures, as well as being inappropriate. Instead of firing him, his uncle moved him from store to store. This caused a pretty big uproar among the local community. The uncle allegedly got kicked out from being an owner or something. In total, there were 8 of us that were filmed, ages 14 through 50-something. Court case won't happen until sometime next year. I've gotten therapy, and I'm doing pretty alright. The last many months, especially in the summer, were pretty messed up. I'm glad all the info gathering is over with. Court will be pretty exhausting. Myself and the others are suing for damages. There's a lot more I can't say, but that's the gist. Dude got arrested, then released, lots of evidence, corrupt family shit, local uproar. We'll see what next year brings. And for our next one, of course I couldn't have a Reddit thread with criminal investigations video without including the infamous Jason in Hell thread. And in case you somehow don't know it yet, here it is. I'm 30 male, having a hard time coping with my wife, 29 female, having cheated on me with our neighbor, 51 male. It has been 476 days since I confronted her about it. How do I know? Because every time I catch myself thinking about it, I tell myself, it's only been X days. Maybe you won't think about it tomorrow. So to go back to the beginning, I had just taken on a new project and new responsibilities at work. I was working a lot of hours, 60 plus per week, and was noticeably stressed. It was in May of 2015 that I noticed that she had added a password to her phone. When confronted about it, she told me it was because she was planning my Father's Day present and didn't want me to ruin the surprise. About a week later, she came to me and told me that she felt guilty keeping a big secret from me and told me that she was having our neighbor, a contractor, build a home office for me as my present. It struck me as odd, as in our 6 years together, she has never said that she felt guilty about anything and always insists that she never regrets anything in her life. Time goes on, her phone is still password protected, and things don't feel right. I see her using her phone and smiling to herself more and more often. But when I ask her what she is doing, she says nothing and puts her phone away. So one morning, I wait for her to get in the shower and I grab her phone before it requires a password. I go through her messages and find that she is texting the neighbor. I am all covered in frosting. You want to lick it off? There were no other messages to the neighbor, but I found out later that was because she had set up her phone to delete messages after a certain amount of time. I felt uncomfortable with it, but I knew she had a perverted sense of humor, and I thought she would never do anything to hurt me. More time goes by, and the neighbor is spending more and more time at our house, but the office is being completed slower and slower. I can't help but worry that something isn't right, so I start checking her location using Google Timeline. It was at this point that I realized there are large gaps in her GPS history because she was turning off her phone's GPS. Fast forward to July, and at this point, the paranoia is driving me nuts, so I tell her that I need to install a new antivirus on her phone. While she has it unlocked for me, I install anti-theft software so I can remotely turn the GPS back on and set up AT&T message backup and restore so I can read all of her text messages from that point on my computer. The next day, my mother asks to spend time with my 2 kids, so my wife drops them off with her and has the day to herself. I watch my wife's activity from work as she spends the day trying to meet up with the neighbor, but is unsuccessful because he is busy with another job site. That night, we get the kids back from my mom's house, and we go out to dinner with the neighbor, his girlfriend, and his son. My wife and his girlfriend are having a good time drinking, laughing, and just joking around. His girlfriend mentions that she would like to see Magic Mike XXL. I say it's a good idea. I'll watch the kids so my wife and her can go. So my wife and her go, and the neighbor and I go back to my house so the kids can play video games together. The kids are back in my son's room playing games, and the neighbor is sitting across from me on the other couch. It is at this point that my wife starts texting him. She is describing blank acts she would like to perform with him, and he is reciprocating. She tells him to check his Snapchat, and at the same time I get a Snapchat from her too, and it is her blanking herself in a bathroom stall. They keep talking, trying to figure out when they can meet up and have blank. They decide on Monday morning after I go to work. So in my head, I had already planned to pretend to leave and circle back to catch them. But then they tell each other that they love each other, and it is all I can do to not leap off the couch and knock him out. But I contain myself and continue reading the conversation unfolding in front of me. Then he tells her, "You're my girl now." To which she replies, "Always have been," ending with him writing, "and always will be." My wife and the neighbor's girlfriend return from the movie, and I ask them, politely, to sit down. I then ask the kids to stay in my son's room and shut the door. I return to the living room and confront my wife and the neighbor. I say, "So you two love each other, huh?" My wife goes into full-blown denial mode, and the neighbor's girlfriend starts smacking him. I ask my wife if she has been texting him. She says no. So I show her the text messages. She admits to it, but says it was the first time it had gone that far. I ask my wife if she has sent him pictures. She says no. So I show her the picture. She admits it, but says it was the first time. I ask her if she is having blank with him, and she says no. Because I didn't wait to catch them having blank together, I didn't have evidence to prove her wrong, so that one stayed unresolved. I tell her that I am leaving her. She tells me that she will make sure I never see my kids again if I do. She planned on using the fact that I had attempted blank in high school to prove me unfit to have the children. She continues to say that it was my fault for being so busy with work and being stressed out, that she just wanted someone she could talk to. Then she gives me an ultimatum to decide what I'm going to do, or she will decide for me. The neighbor's girlfriend starts defending the two of them, saying that it couldn't have been serious if they weren't having blank, and that my wife and I are too perfect together to let this break us up. The neighbors go home, and my wife and I argue for the rest of the night about what we are going to do. We go to bed separately, having not resolved anything. We keep going back and forth on the subject all weekend, and finally settle on we are going to separate temporarily while we figure out what we want. I was going to stay in the house, and she was going to take the kids and go to her mom's house. That Monday, I go to work and I get a text from her in the middle of a meeting with my bosses stating that she had explained things to our kids, but that they were upset and I need to explain it to them also. I get home from work to find my kids crying. She had told them that mommy had to move out because dad was mad at her. When my son wanted to stay with me, she told him that he can't. My son put it together that if mommy has to move out because I'm mad at her and he must move out, then I must have been mad at him too. My daughter was crying because my son was. I don't think she was old enough to understand what was happening. It was at that moment I realized she was going to drag the kids through hell if I left her, so I swallowed my feelings and begged her to stay. She agreed and insisted that I apologize to our neighbors since we were still going to need to hang out with them because our sons are good friends. I hate it, but I do it anyway. We still hang out with them from time to time, and they come to our various birthday and holiday parties. But I do anything for my kids, and I behave civil every time. Things die down for a while. I still think about it constantly. I worry how I can keep from making her so unhappy that she cheats on me again. Then, almost a year from the original incident, around Father's Day again, she sends him pictures again. She claims it was an accident and that she meant to send them to me instead. I don't fully believe her, but I move on anyway. Things have been quiet on that front for about 4 months now, but I still think about it constantly. This is going to sound stupid, but I feel like I have a part of my brain that I can't shut off, that is always thinking. I used to use that to solve programming problems, and it made me very good at my job. But ever since this incident, the only thing it thinks about is her and him and if I did the right thing. My job performance has suffered, and I feel like I haven't gotten sleep in months. I'm afraid that after this much time, and the fact that I begged her back, that to say that I want a divorce now would only make her more vindictive towards my children and I. I just feel like I have to put myself so deep in a hole that I can never get back out. I haven't really talked to anyone about this. I didn't want to talk to my mom about it because I felt she would treat my wife differently, and I didn't need the two fighting any more than they already do. I tried talking to one friend about it, but his advice was to put my trust in God, but that was not much solace for me as I am an atheist. So I have no clue what to do with my feelings or how to move on from this. And the OP gives us a brief update a couple days later saying, instead of trying to fix something she doesn't want to fix, she has refused counseling several times in the past before this even happened. I am going to get myself and my kids out. I meet with an attorney next week. Thank you everyone for helping me see how far I had my head up my ass. And unfortunately, our next update doesn't come from Reddit, but rather a news article. And I just want to warn you guys now that the following is going to involve very sensitive topics and details, including children. And if you would like to skip, I have a timestamp to continue on to the next story. But here's what ended up happening. On the night of November 17th, 2016, Brandy attacked both children in their sleep. She fatally stabbed Tyler and Charlie multiple times with a combat knife. After blinking the children, Brandy stabbed herself in the neck in an apparent blink attempt, but survived. Following the murders, Brandy called 911 and calmly reported what she had done, claiming she didn't want Jason to take the children away from her. Jason was asleep in the basement and only became aware of what happened after the police arrived. Here is her call to the police. "I just stabbed myself, and I blinked my 2 children," Worley says in the audio of the call, which was made public shortly after the murders. "You stabbed yourself and blinked your 2 children?" the male dispatcher repeats incredulously. "Mm-hmm," Worley responds. "Okay, and what's your name?" "Brandy Worley." The dispatcher asks where the children are, and Worley, whose speech is somewhat slurred, responds that they are on the floor in her daughter's room. The dispatcher continues asking questions between moments of silence, at one point asking Worley why she blinked her children. "My husband wanted a divorce and wanted to take my kids," she responds. "I don't want him to have my kids." Asked about her husband, she says he is downstairs in the basement. The dispatcher asks about Jason Worley's condition. "I don't know. I haven't talked to him," she responds. The dispatcher asks Brandy Worley what she feels, and she says she's tired. "I took a lot of Benadryl," she says. She tells the dispatcher that before calling him, she called her mother, who told her to call 911. Montgomery County prosecutors said that it was Jason Worley's mother-in-law's screams of horror that woke him that morning. He ran upstairs and found her in the kitchen and his wife in the living room. "That's when I heard Brandy say, 'Now you can't take my children from me,'" Jason Worley said. And it didn't take long for people to figure out this was the same Jason from the Reddit thread. He gives a brief update a few days after the incident, and all he has to say is, "I would like to give a heartfelt and sincere thank you for the advice and support I have received here. No one could have foreseen the tragedy that resulted from me filing for divorce. You guys perform a wonderful service to those in need, and I hope you continue to do so in the future." And then he adds a brief edit to his update saying, "I would never ask for donations. I think it is incredibly tacky. I've worked very hard for everything I have in life, but because there has been a GoFundMe created by her family, and I can't guarantee they won't turn around and use it to support her in some way, I just ask that you help spread the GoFundMe that my employer created for me." And then he links his son's and his daughter's GoFundMe. And then the day after that, he just says, "If anyone has any experience with GoFundMe that could give me advice, it would be greatly appreciated. My former mother-in-law has created a GoFundMe using my last name and pictures of the children to raise funds for the mother who murdered them. She intends to use them for her daughter's medical and legal expenses. What can/should be done about this?" We then don't hear anything from Jason until about 1.5 years later, almost 2 years. This is what he has to say. "The first thing you may notice is this is being posted from a different Reddit account. I deleted the u/Jason in Hell account in a knee-jerk reaction to seeing my Reddit posts in the news. I guess the first question to answer is, how am I doing? And to that, I would say I'm doing well. I have bad days, but I would think that is to be expected. It is just important that I, or anyone going through something, continue to use the support of friends and family, as well as good coping skills, to not let myself be completely defeated on those bad days. I won't lie, I struggled to get back to where I am, For some time, I refused to sleep because a combination of fear of what I would wake up to and nightmares about that night. For a time, I used alcohol to sleep, but my family loved me enough to take it from me before it became a damaging and permanent habit. I was hospitalized because I did have thoughts of ending my life because I missed my children so much. From that, I learned that you should never be ashamed of your mental health, and not seeking treatment will only make it worse, not better. We have all heard it, but if you or a loved one is struggling, seek immediate assistance. Your life is too important to throw away in a moment of weakness. By putting off treatment, I only caused everything else in my life to suffer. I lost my job and became reclusive to the house. But don't worry, I have been back to work since December, and I have nearly regained my former position and salary, so I am good and require no assistance. The second question would be, how do I feel about the sentencing? That is something that is harder to answer, because no matter what the sentence, nothing will bring back my beloved children. Do I think she should have gotten the death penalty, which Indiana has? No, I do not. She wanted to die, and after 9 years of giving her what she wanted when she wanted it, I was not going to give her another thing. Do I think the life sentence will have any appreciable effect on her? I don't know. One thing she always stressed for the entire time that I knew her was that she lived her life without any regrets. Even after I caught her cheating on me, she continued to say she had no regrets. As for the ex-in-laws, they continue to be a problem to this day. Shortly after everything happened, they changed the locks on the home I was renting from them, with my property still inside. After trying to civilly negotiate the return of the property, it was required that I involve law enforcement. That is an ongoing legal battle. A member of the family accused me of stealing property I had purchased from them prior to the death of the children and threatened to take action against me unless I paid double what I already paid them. I alerted the authorities, and as far as I know, that is resolved. They continue to make visiting my children's grave difficult. During the 1-year anniversary, they sat in their truck and just watched me the whole time I was visiting the grave. Because of that, I don't visit the grave as often as I would like to. If I can impart you on something I have learned through all of this, is that you should always take the times to be with the ones you love. It doesn't matter if they are asking you to read The Pokey Little Puppy for the millionth time, or asking you to play Smash Bros, even though you both know they will wipe the floor with you every time. Just do it, because you never know what time will be the last time. Always make sure they know how much you love them. I had the fortune that the last thing my children ever heard me say was, "I love you. Good night. I will see you in the morning." My husband is going to unalive me. My husband and I have not been together long, admittedly. It's only been 4 years. Other marriages make ours look like a baby marriage. My husband started hitting me around year 1, which blindsided me as he had always been a loving, caring man. I never saw this coming, even when it was staring me right in the face. He never stopped hitting me. It only evolved, from hitting to beating. The cops have been called on multiple occasions, but they never do anything. I've started to see police officers as nothing more than a decorative object, just there to look good and make you feel safe, temporarily. Today, we had a particularly bad day. He didn't get the promotion he wanted, but nobody is. The economy, especially for the working class, is falling apart. I tried to say this, but he began getting agitated, so I shut up. Then he noticed I was using Facebook, and I was talking to my brother, and he absolutely lost it. And I just don't understand why. I curled in a ball and waited for him to be done with it. I don't know why I put up with this. After I thought he was done, I moved to get up, but he grabbed me and started choking me. I honestly thought he was going to end me, but he must have been bored or something because he stopped. I've since locked myself in the bathroom, and I'm writing this on my laptop. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I have no savings, as my husband wanted me to be a stay-at-home wife. I don't have a license since mine expired, and oversight on my part, I know. But now he won't take me to get it renewed. I don't even have a tiny bit of change for a bus fare to get to the DSS building. Not that they'd help me anyways. The last time I tried, they told me I couldn't even claim homelessness because I had somewhere to go back to. Already a heartbreaking thread in just the first few comments. It seems everybody in OP's life is failing her. But before we get into the update, let's see what some of the comments have to say. One comment says, "If he strangles you, he is way more likely to murder you. In fact, around 700% more likely." I know that sounds insane, but it is a real, searchable statistic. Please, search for domestic violence shelters in your area. Nothing he can do is worth your life. Another person says, "The reason he wanted you to be a stay-at-home wife is because he wanted you to be financially dependent on him and unable to leave. He doesn't want you to get your license renewed because it makes you even more dependent on him. Please call your brother and ask him to help you get out. Tell him everything that is going on. If he can't help you, call anyone else that you have in your life. If you have no one else, call a domestic violence shelter. Please don't just resign yourself to a lifetime of abuse. You can get out." We then get a short update from the OP saying, "First of all, I'd like to apologize for causing everyone to worry. I have not gotten out yet, but I am planning on it. My brother is going to pick me up while my husband is at work and take me to an old high school friend's house. She couldn't afford rent on her own anyways, haha. I've already started looking for jobs in that area. It's going to be nice to work again. I've realized being a stay-at-home anything is not for me. I don't want to have to rely on anybody for my lifestyle, especially if someone could just rip it away at any time. Finally, thank you all for the comments and DMs to ensure that I am okay. I will answer all the DMs, as there are only 15 of them. As for the comments, I probably won't comment on the comments, although I am thankful for them." We get another update from the OP 2 days later, and this is what they have to say. "So, a lot of stuff happened yesterday. I'm glad my brother was able to help me, but I shouldn't have gotten him involved. He's 16 and just started driving. He's really good at it though, most likely because our father spent a lot of time teaching him before he even turned 16, on private property of course. Anyways, my brother pulled up and began helping me pack my stuff, basic necessities like clothes, hygiene products, and my laptop. But for some reason, my husband came home early, really early. It was like 12:45 p.m. when he pulled in, but I have no idea why he came home so early. As you can probably guess, the situation didn't go very well. He started yelling at me and my brother. His yelling even got attention of the neighbors. Some of them came outside, but nobody did anything. They all just kind of stood there. Anyways, my husband kept screaming at me, calling me all kinds of horrible names. I'm not gonna get into what those are, but they seriously pissed off my brother, who started screaming at him back. Things came to a head when my husband grabbed my brother. I'm not entirely sure what happened, I don't remember. But the next thing I do remember is I was stood in front of my brother, and my husband was on the ground with a bloody nose. The police showed shortly thereafter. I could only assume that one of the neighbors called the police. When they pulled up, my husband went apeshit. The police tried to de-escalate the situation, but my husband made the idiotic choice to lay hands on an officer. So long story short, my husband got arrested. The police talked to me, my brother, and the neighbors. I didn't get charged or anything. I was terrified I was going to be, but the police said that I was well within my right to punch him, but I should have prioritized de-escalation. Anyways, after everything was said and done, we left. I made it to my friend's house without much issue. I'm so happy to be away, and I'm ecstatic to get back into some of my old hobbies. I might take up playing the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Thank you all for following my story, and I'm so thankful to all the advice, kind words, and everything you have all given me. I called CPS on my sister. Burner account. I feel so effing stressed and guilty. Guilty for calling, but also guilty for waiting so long to call. I also called animal control, and they will be at her door in a few hours. I'm in college, and the new semester just started, and no way am I going to be able to focus in class today. My nibblings, what is that, like niece, nephew, siblings? Anyway, my nibblings are severely neglected. They don't attend school, and one has an IEP for a diagnosed developmental delay and has long hair matted down to the scalp. Their house is a house of horrors, just filled with garbage and urine and feces from the animals that they don't take care of. They all sleep in one bedroom because the house is filled to the brim with trash. I've tried cleaning. I've tried hiring people. I've tried begging. Nothing has worked. I've spent thousands of dollars trying to get this house cleaned up, and nothing gets through to her. My sister needs psychiatric help, and she won't get it. The woman I knew 5+ years ago would have never treated living, breathing creatures like this. I don't even know who she is anymore. She's such a liar that I have no idea what's the truth when she's talking to me. The school is on the verge of taking her to court for educational neglect. She keeps them out until dawn, door dashing, and then they sleep until 4 p.m. and do it all over again. The kids don't have friends or social lives. They barely know how to act around people. I'm so disgusted and sad. My sister was my best friend, but I can barely look at her without feeling like I'm gonna be sick. Our parents have washed their hands of this and don't want to be involved anymore. They've tried everything I have and have given her so much money because she refuses to get a job. I don't want them to be mad at me for calling, but I didn't see them doing it. I have 2 kids of my own to take care of, and taking on my nibblings would completely disrupt the household. But if they get removed from their care, I'd rather they came to me while she gets help. Our grandmother just passed, and now I feel even more guilty for calling because she was so close to her, and her mental health is already in the toilet. I feel so lost and alone in this. ETA. Her children's father, biological father of only one child, but raised the other child, passed unexpectedly in 2020. He did everything for her. Cooked, cleaned, took care of the kids at school and parenting and hygiene, and took care of the kids in their own home daycare. They weren't really together by the end of his life, as he was an alcoholic and he was removed from the household legally after he started being investigated for child blank. Her life is a mess, but losing the stability that he gave her absolutely rocked her. Things crumbled when he was removed from the home and the responsibility was shifted to her. Then when he passed, it made it a lot worse, as she still loved him. And then the OP edits the post with an update saying, "Update, since people have been asking to be brought along for the ride. I have heard absolutely nothing about animal control, my sister, or from the animal control officer that I spoke to. He was going to stop in Monday morning, and it's now Wednesday afternoon. I'm not sure if maybe he did stop in and nobody told me, but nothing really to update here. I've also not heard anything about DCF/CPS. My sister's best friend has been keeping me updated on what's happening. She has also been trying to clean up her house, and has been driving 2 hours to bring my nibblings to school so that my sister doesn't need to. I do not agree with this, though I am glad that they are going to school. I told her friend that she needs to not bail her out because if she can't do these things without her, then we're not really helping her. I've been right where she is. She is basically me 6 months ago. Her best friend is not only driving 2 hours, both ways, to help my sister, but she has taken time off of work to clean her house. I don't think she can get very far on her own, but my niece somewhat has a bedroom floor now. She's also been sending me things to post on the marketplace to sell, including a rabbit enclosure that I had no idea she had. That one mysteriously passed as well, I'm told. The kids have gone to school the last 3 days late because of my sister's friend. I fear she is just making the problem worse by doing it for her, but at the same time, the kids need to go. It's such a hard place to be. She told me that my sister is still sleeping and it is currently 2 p.m. because she was door dashing all night. I don't know how she plans to keep this up. Thanks everyone for the kind words and advice. It's been so nice and encouraging to read through. You have no idea how much it helps. We get an update from the OP 3 days later, and this is what they have to say. My sister is very upset with me because I told our mother that her children aren't going to school even after the meeting she had with the school telling her she has until the 19th to clean up her act, or they're taking her to court for educational neglect. My mother wasn't happy with her and called her and told her off, to which my sister told her to lose her number. She is still not speaking to me, but she will get over it. She probably won't get over the CPS thing though. I haven't heard anything from them or from animal control, and she hasn't said anything about it, so it's still a waiting game. The school made a plan with her to have the kids at school at 7:15 because she told them the problem is that the kids didn't want to go and be watched when they walk in, because she is constantly late bringing them to school and they're walking in midday. And every day this week, they have been at least an hour and a half late despite her friend's best efforts. Her best friend has been keeping me updated on things, and she has been driving 2 hours each way in order to bring the kids to school and when she stayed the night. She slept in the garage because the smell of urine and feces was so intoxicating. Her best friend went back home last night to get some rest before she starts work again tomorrow. She took a week off of work for my sister. It's currently 9:30 a.m., and I haven't seen her location move from her house, and so I know that her kids are probably not going to go to school today. She told me getting up wasn't the problem, but her best friend told me she's been staying up all night door dashing and sleeping until 2 to 3 p.m. while she brings them to school. What is her plan now that her friend went back to her own life? Her best friend is where I was a year ago. She thinks she can fix her. She bought the kids new clothes for school because none of them fit, and has attempted to clean her house. She spent 12 hours cleaning and has hardly made a dent. She found 2 huge dead rats in the common areas that the dogs have been peeing on, probably to mask the smell. I am so effing disgusted. She told me her kids are not going anywhere and to stop rearranging my house for them, but she is not doing anything to make any changes for her kids. I want the kids here so badly. ETA. I have just called CPS again. I gave them all of the new information that I have from her best friend, as well as sent them pictures of the kids' bedrooms. There's a pellet gun on the floor in one of the pictures, and I'm sure they won't take kindly to that. I also told them about the moldy, unusable fridge, broken oven, caked urine and feces all over everything, and the huge dead rats that were found. I hope they get in there quickly. And we get another update on the same day saying, I called and spoke to the school. She did not get them to school and ignored all of their calls and texts and emails. She didn't even bother to tell anybody that they weren't going. This is against their agreement and doesn't bode well for her. The front desk lady seemed frustrated as well and seemed very well informed of the situation. They've really given her every opportunity to get them to school. She is still giving me the cold shoulder. I texted her and asked if she needed me to bring the kids to school tomorrow and that I'd give them breakfast. Nothing. The principal is supposed to give me a call back at some point, and they will potentially start doing welfare checks with the police when they don't show up. I am one of the kids' emergency contacts, and so they were more than happy to talk to me and seemed on the same page. I asked earlier this afternoon about doing one today, and it seemed like they might since I requested it. I have yet to hear anything, so I'm not sure if they did or not. I'm going to call and do the same thing tomorrow on my lunch break at school. I won't give up. We get another update 4 days later, and this is what the OP has to say. I'm not sure if I should keep making new posts or add on to the ones I've already made. Someone let me know, lol. I don't know how this works. I called and talked to the school for the second day in a row. She did not get them to school yesterday or today and slept through all the phone calls from them. I watched her location and she got home at about 6:30 a.m. and it hasn't moved from there. I'm going to start calling my sister's best friend Janice. Janice called my sister from 7 to 9 this morning until one of my nibblings answered the phone. They said they'd been trying to wake her up for an hour and she wouldn't get up to bring them to school. Janice says they brought the phone to my sister and Janice told her to get her ass up. My sister lied and told her she brought the kids to school yesterday and she'd do it today. Spoiler alert, she didn't. Janice is upset that she's been lying to her, but I think she's always lied to her. She's just realizing it now. Well, fast forward a few hours, I start getting a notification for every message that is being deleted by Janice incriminating my sister. Dozens of messages including pictures. Luckily, I had most everything saved already at that point. I asked what she was doing, and she ignored me for a bit, and then I get a call from her. She's crying and upset and says, "What did you do?" I played completely dumb. Apparently my sister called her, ripping mad screaming, saying that CPS got involved, and hung up on her. She thinks Janice is the one who called. I do feel pretty bad about that. I have no idea if they showed up or if they called, but it didn't sound good. She has an inspection coming up, but we are unsure of when. I wish I knew what went down. All I know is that they mentioned the things Janice had told only me, so it'll come back to me eventually. It doesn't sound like she let that on to my sister. If somebody showed up to her house, I'm sure she refused to let them in, which is an obvious red flag. Her porch looks terrible, and there's trash and feces all over outside, so I'm sure that was another rock in her sack. We have our grandmother's funeral tomorrow morning, and if she gets her ass out of bed at 8:30 tomorrow morning, doubtful, it's going to be one awkward family reunion. Janice is also going. I'm shitting bricks. ETA. I just messaged her other close friend who also happens to be a social worker. She's helping me get in touch with their social worker. No, the friend hasn't seen the house in a good year or two. And then we get another update the same day saying the following. Update. She did not make the funeral. Janice drove 2 hours to drag her out of the house, but she refused to go. Now Janice is cleaning up her house while my sister does absolutely nothing. I told her to just give it up, but she thinks she's doing what's best. The DCF inspection is bright and early Monday morning. Janice is doing what she can to hide the evidence. They're both more worried about figuring out who called than the kids' well-being. I'm beyond disgusted. Janice thinks she's being a good ride or die friend, but I do not see it that way. I wish I could never talk to either of them again, but my nibblings don't deserve to be isolated. Thanks for listening to my woes. We get a brief update on the post that the OP gives the next day, saying, "My sister has her inspection tomorrow morning. I don't know what time, as she won't tell us. She's done nothing to help the situation. My guess is she will just not let them in, and they will have to get a warrant. If anyone has any insight on how that goes, please let me know." I also sent DCF a long email explaining everything about Janice and have offered my home and time to them should they need me. I'll make a more in-depth update after I find out what happens tomorrow. I'm hoping the social worker gives me a call and updates me. We get our next update 9 days later from the last update, and this is what the OP says. I don't even know where to begin. It feels like so much has happened, yet nothing at all. My sister knows somebody called and is blaming Janice and isn't speaking to her. I feel slightly awful because now my sister is speaking to me again and talking shit about Janice. I've been redirecting her as best as I can. The only reason she's even talking to me is because she wants to borrow my car. I wouldn't see it again. So I've been just saying it's at the shop, which isn't a lie, but I can pick it up anytime. I just haven't had the time with school and work, but I'm not telling her that. She only talks to us when she needs something, like picking up her vape juice and giving her money or a vehicle. I'm trying too hard for these kids, and I just feel like I'm getting nowhere besides poking the bear. For now, I'm saying let's make the best of it and get some help, but she's yet to make any effort. The only people that know I called is our dad, my partner, and her friend Caroline, who is actually a DCF worker. She's been so helpful through all of this and trying to help me help the kids in a way that won't cause her to lose her job. And all of you. My sister did not go to the funeral as expected, and she has a meeting on Monday with the school to discuss the kids' truancy again. This was her deadline to start going before they took her to court. I've been calling the school every day, and they've not gone once since Janice stopped bringing them day 3 of their deal. It's been a few weeks now. They know my phone number now and greet me by name, LOL. My sister managed to dodge her DCF worker 2 days in a row. Once she rescheduled, and second, the worker rescheduled. The house still looks horrendous. I dropped off Operation Happiness gifts and food, and I couldn't even get past the front door. It was a dark, dingy, dirty, stinky cave. She's still in denial and says, Janice called DCF on me over a moldy zucchini. She's dead to me. Actually, she's just plain delusional. There's no way she can actually believe that. Not when I've seen her house and smelled them all. She even shits on Janice for her cat and kittens and how, at least there's not shit and piss at her house. There is. A lot. She just doesn't leave her bedroom. She's not put in a single gram of effort into cleaning her house, but she has spent lots of time trying to figure out who called on her, which is just disgusting. I've told her friend Caroline everything, and she has been trying to talk to her, but my sister has been lying through her teeth to her, which is unhelpful because I've told her absolutely everything. She said she may have to write her own report based off of things I've told and things she's noticed. She gave my information along to my sister's social worker and said to expect a phone call soon as it's being made a priority. My sister is going to be pissed. I've been dropping hints to her about seeking treatment and easing her into the thought of her kids coming to my house. She's still vehemently against it and says they are not leaving her house under any circumstances. Unfortunately, she does not have that choice, but I need her to comply with our plan once they do get taken. I have no idea how she's going to react, and I'm terrified, especially terrified for her children. She's not going to make this easy on them, and if she has to go to court, she will get a copy of the affidavit on it that will have my name and exact report that I made. I'm not thrilled for that, but for now, I'm just denying it until I can't anymore. Thanks again for listening to my woes. And our next update from the OP doesn't come until almost 3 years later, so let's get into it. 2 years ago, I posted that I called CPS on my sister. The post blew up, and I ended up deleting it because I was afraid my sister would see it with how popular it was getting. I still get messages to this account asking for updates. Everyone was very helpful to me, blowing off steam about this, so I feel like I owe everyone an update. It's not great. We have to be careful about what we say and do so that we could still have access to the children. My sister is a textbook narcissist and has manipulated them so completely. Here's some background to jog our memories. Hoarder house. They needed to all share a bedroom because they don't have access to the other rooms in the house. The house is a biohazard. Urine and feces everywhere. Dead dogs, yes plural, and rats in corners that they couldn't find. Moldy and decayed food everywhere and in the fridge. They had to order out for every meal. My mother and I spent thousands of dollars and hours hiring cleaning services, moving companies, and recruiting friends and family to help. My sister sat at the table, vaping and scrolling her phone because it was too overwhelming for her. Her boyfriend had passed 2 years before this, and that was her excuse for not getting her shit together for her kids. To this day, she says she didn't help because she wasn't ready. We begged her to get inpatient treatment. She took my niece door dashing at all hours of the night with her drug-using friends while my nephew stayed at home playing video games. Loaded pellet guns scattered through the house. Absences from school to the point of daily welfare checks, principal showing up to bang on the door, and my sister being brought to court. Dogs and cats living in squalor, being made to shit and piss in the house. Sister was actively trying to get pregnant. Probably so much more. Yes, I was in contact with the school daily. Yes, I called the police. Yes, I called animal control. They said there was nothing they could do because she wouldn't open the door. Updates as of today. CPS did absolutely nothing. They said that the kids were not in imminent danger and that there was nothing they could do. My sister's enabling friend Janice cleaned up the dead dogs and replaced the floors in those rooms before the CPS workers showed up. I told them this. They didn't care as long as it was done. Janice also cleaned the kitchen and one bedroom, making it almost livable so that the CPS worker could see that they had a kitchen and a bedroom. Mind you, there are 5+ rooms in the house, and they couldn't access with dead animals in it. My sister didn't allow the CPS worker in any other rooms, and the worker allowed that. My sister has a new boyfriend in the last 4 to 5 months. He is a drug user with a violent and criminal past who is in and out of jail. My sister is nearly 40, and her new boyfriend is 22. What they get out of this relationship, I am not sure. Neither of them have anything to give. Friend Janice has expressed concerns over the boyfriend's behavior with my 11-year-old niece, i.e., snuggling her alone in the car. My sister and her boyfriend and kids stayed with Janice for a few months after their house became flea infested and they could no longer stay there. August maybe? Janice eventually kicked them out after they destroyed her house, complained about her asking for help around the house, did not contribute financially, and she needed to keep buying clothes and hygiene products for them all. I have told her to cut her off, but she worries for the kids. During this time, my niece slept in the car because she was uncomfortable at Janice's, and so she slept in a running car every night. The neighbors called the police multiple times. We all assumed my sister lost the apartment, but she is adamant that she hasn't been kicked out yet, only threatened. My mom sent her landlord money and bought another dumpster that is currently sitting outside, unused, because she is too overwhelmed. My mother is done. They stayed at my mom's for a few days after Janice kicked them out, where my mom bought all of them, including the boyfriend, new clothes. My niece and nephew are now 11 and 16. They have not been to school in 2+ years. After the school got too judgy, her words, she pulled them to homeschool. Our state has no rules or regulations on homeschooling, so there is no reason for her to even fake documents. My nephew is 16 and doesn't even know how many days are in a month. They do not do any schooling, and they have said this to my face. My sister has told us she will get around to signing them up. My nephew is 300+ pounds with high cholesterol and hypertension. He is embarrassed about his weight and depressed. He sleeps and eats all day. My niece was recently hospitalized after she couldn't walk and was so deconditioned and ill that she couldn't function. She was found to have functional neurological disorder from extreme stress. I went to their care meetings at the hospital, and to be severely malnourished and dehydrated. She told the doctors it just started, but they're not stupid. She was too sick. She sat in that car for too long that she atrophied and got edematous. This was going on for much longer than any of us know. My sister never brought her to the doctor for fear of being judged. She brings neither children to their PCPs anymore. You guessed it, they're too judgy. Eventually, she was worried my niece would pass and brought her to the ER. She had to spend 3 weeks there. The hospital had many concerns, but did not call. I had meetings with them and also told them all of this as well. I was really hoping they would, and it would have been more weight coming from them than from me. The boyfriend was staying in the hospital room with them, and the staff had a lot of concerns. He gave my niece pepper spray as a fidget toy. So he says is the reason, and it fell out when the nurse tried to help her to the bathroom. My parents are now divorced because of my sister. Our dad wants nothing to do with her, while my mom wanted to continue helping her because of the kids. I see both their points of view. There is not a good answer. This has been a bombshell in all of our lives. Sister has burned all her bridges and is door dashing all day for a hotel room. So that is where they are all staying, including the boyfriend, either the car or a hotel room. The car that they keep mysteriously getting into accidents in, then lying about how it happened. Sister is still actively trying to get pregnant. She recently started on fertility medications and supplements. Where will they keep the baby? In the trunk? The children rarely respond to anyone because she has them drinking the Kool-Aid, whatever that means. They know that their mom could get in a lot of trouble, and so they just don't talk. Neither of them have any friends, and they are so isolated from the outside world. I would send them lunch money periodically, and my mom buys them clothes. Janice has blocked my sister on everything after she used and abused her too many times, so I don't have that avenue of knowing they are safe anymore. I called CPS again yesterday. I unloaded on that poor reporter. I then called the hospital and left a message with care management that I did it and that I encouraged them to call and add details of their own. They will never be members of society. My friends are sick of hearing about it, my parents don't want to talk about it, and have washed their hands of it. If by some miracle they actually take the kids this time, the only place they could go is with me or with friend Janice, who is almost 2 hours away. If they went with Janice, I fear it would allow more enabling behavior. My partner is a stay-at-home dad to our 2 small children, while I work 12-hour shifts 3 to 5 times a week, and he is rightfully nervous about adding 2 traumatized children to the mix, where he will be the primary caregiver. We would have to completely uproot our lives, which we are willing to do, but it is daunting. I am exhausted, I am angry, I am sad. I am so disgusted with myself and every other adult in their lives that have failed them. And I'm sorry for ending today's video on such an unfortunate ending. I hope although the OP hasn't updated us, that they and everyone involved ends up recovering the best they can from this, and that they can all move on and live normal lives. That's all I have for you guys today, and please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.